I am so late. It is almost the end of August and I only just now got to this. What is wrong with me? Hello people, my name is Jessica and I am the Fandoms Queen. Today, I'm gonna be reviewing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, Jack Thorne, and John Tiffany. When I first heard that a play was being produced about Harry Potter, I squealed in excitement. If I had the money to book a flight, I would go myself to see it perform because I want to. I want to go so bad. But I don't have the money. So I'm going to have to content myself with this beautiful printed play right here until it comes to America. I heard that this was going to center around their second son, Albus Severus Potter, and I was even more excited because of all the Potter children, he was the one that I wanted to know about the most. Can you imagine the reaction the world had when they found out that Harry named his son after Snape? Snape! I did not believe for 1 second that that would ever happen. Every time I think about Albus Severus Potter, I keep on thinking, what's happening in the afterlife? How did Snape, the ghost of Snape, the spirit of him, react to Harry naming a child after him? Potter, how very irritating that you named a son after me. I can't imagine Sirius and James's reaction. Snape, however, would be hilarious. But yes, that's all I know about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It was going to be about Albus Severus, and it was going to take place 19 years later after the war ended. There have been many theories circulating the internet about what the story was going to be about, and I avoided those like the plague. I have very terrible luck with getting spoiled. I will click on a link and it will take me to this website and there's no spoiler warning whatsoever, and I will read it thinking that it's just basic information. No, there's gonna be a spoiler right there. And so when I heard that this was gonna be released, I avoided any news about this, any reviews, and I'm glad, because if I had heard any people talk about the plot of what this book was about, I would not have been nearly as surprised as I was. I finished Harry Potter and the Cursed Child under 5 hours. 5 hours of straight reading. It was very, very quick, but no less enjoyable because of it. I just really cannot wait for the play to come to America. I want to see this play performed because even though reading the script was fun, it just really can't compare to seeing it being performed live by real actors and seeing all the stage magic happen. Lighting, sound effects, props, costumes, the background designs. Alright, that's gonna be it for the non-spoilery section of this review. If you're watching this and you have not yet read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, I'm gonna be advising you to leave your computer, go to your nearest bookstore, buy this script book and read it, and then come back so we can fangirl over it together, okay? Let's fangirl over this together. So, for all of you out there who have not yet read this book and don't want to get spoiled, bye-bye, bye-bye, you better go and read it, and then you better come back and tell me your thoughts on it, because this, oh my god, all the feels, all the nostalgia, oh my god. Final warning for all of you out there, spoilers are coming, you better leave right now and go get it. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Alright, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Act 1. Act 1 literally starts with the epilogue of Deathly Hallows. Ginny and Harry are taking their youngest son to the train station to take them to Hogwarts for the very first time. It contained everything. It contained Albus being worried about being sorted into Slytherin, that talk about the sorting hat, that talk about choosing your houses. Albus and Draco Malfoy's son, Scorpius, then become best friends. I was sort of half and half about what I wanted from both Scorpius and Albus. Part of me wanted them to become best friends, another part of me wanted them to hate each other like their fathers did, but it was so cute. It was so cute the way Al decided to just stay there in that compartment and stay friends with Scorpius. And then you get Hogwarts. And then Albus is sorted into Slytherin. Slytherin! I mean, I'm not disappointed. I just thought that maybe he might try to convince the Hat to take him into Gryffindor. But, it happened. It happened. He's a Slytherin now. And people are shocked. And then after that, it just sort of progresses throughout the years. First year passes, then second year, then third year. Fourth year is when the actual story picks up. And the whole time that it was transitioning through the years, they were showing all these scenes of Albus not fitting in or getting along with his dad Harry, and every time I kept reading about him, oh my gosh, Albus, part of me wants to hug you and smack you at the same time. Albus came as a surprise. I didn't know what kind of kid he was going to turn out to be, but he turned out to be both annoying and also really interesting. He was annoying in how he treats his dad. I get that it must be hard having Harry Potter as your father because people stare at you and always make comparisons, but man, he could be brutal. So we got Harry, Hermione, and Ron back, and the gang is together still. Harry is now the head of the Aurors department. We knew that, but still, it was very interesting to read about how he takes that role. And Hermione Granger is Minister of Magic. It makes sense. Of all the Golden Trio, I assumed she would be the minister because Harry never really seemed interested. I couldn't imagine Harry as minister. I mean, most people would probably want that, but I can see that he wouldn't want it. He would turn it down, just like Dumbledore did. So of course it makes sense that it would be Hermione, because Ron, he runs a joke shop, and let's be truthful, I don't think Ron would like that position too much either. So the actual story of the Cursed Child starts literally in Albus and Scorpius's 4th year. They are each other's best friends, and they are practically as close as Ron and Harry were. Scorpius, he's not popular. I mean, he wouldn't have been popular only because of what his dad did, but he's not popular for another reason, and that's because there are rumors saying that he is Voldemort's son. And that's at the point where I thought that maybe this was a fan fiction story of who wants to imagine Voldemort as a father? Who wants to imagine him having sex? I mean, that's traumatizing right there. I don't care how desperate you are to have a pure blood child. Why would you want to have sex with Voldemort? Why? But yes, those are the rumors about Scorpius. He's Voldemort's kid, and let's just say, total bullcrap. Come on, it was described in the epilogue of Deathly Hallows that he looks exactly like Draco. Why make rumors like this? Okay, back to the book. Harry and Hermione discover a time turner. I'm just like, what? All of the time turners we were told were destroyed in book 5 when they went to the Ministry of Magic. But they found another one. They found a time turner, and instead of destroying it, they decided to keep it. Stupid. Rumors about the time turner existing circulate, and it gets back to Amos Diggory, Cedric Diggory's father, and then he goes to Harry Potter and asks him to use this time turner to bring back his son Cedric. I was like, what? This is a grown-ass wizard who knows better than to mess with time. I'm pretty sure Harry, if he wanted to, if he truly was desperate to, he'd use it to bring back everyone who ever died. But he can't. He can't because he knows how bad messing with time is. And while Harry is having this talk with Amos, Albus is overhearing, and he meets Amos's niece, Delphi. I didn't like Delphi when she was introduced. She was suspicious from the start. So, of course, when Amos makes his more than ridiculous request, Harry refuses. And Albus, when he learns that his father lied about the time turning, he goes to Scorpius and says, "Hey, I have a plan. Let's bring back Cedric." So Scorpius agrees. He agrees with this insane plot, and they escape the train. I have to admit, the Trolley Witch, she came as a great surprise. She turned into a spike monster. The Trolley Witch turned into a spike monster. That made no sense to me, because I just thought she was a regular old witch who worked on the train, you know? Not that it wasn't bad what they did with the Trolley Witch. They turned her into this spike monster that guards children and makes sure they don't leave the train. That particular scene did make me question, though, how on earth is it that Death Eaters got on the train, took kids off the train during the war? Why was she not featured there? Why wasn't she shown protecting the students? Because that's what I thought she was. I thought that she was a sort of protection towards the students. Where was she when the kids were being pulled off the train by Death Eaters? So they find a way off the train. They manage to evade the trolley spike monster witch and go to Amos and tell him that they're gonna help him bring back his son. Meanwhile, with Harry and the gang, Harry is having nightmares, and that should not be that big of a surprise. except it comes with a very, very unpleasant side effect. Harry gasps again and does all he can not to touch his forehead. Harry's scar hurt. His scar hurt. Oh my god, no! I mean, did we not just spend 7 books trying to prevent this very thing from happening again? The last line in Deathly Hallows literally says his scar has not hurt in 19 years. So his scar hurt. He has this dream about his past, and then his scar hurts. Makes everyone assume that Voldemort must still technically be alive somewhere. And just no. Meanwhile, with Albus, Delphi, she gives them Polyjuice Potion and tells them that they're going to infiltrate the Ministry and steal the Time Turner. And they did. They managed to infiltrate the Ministry. I'm just so done with the Ministry being so incompetent. Did they not tighten security for the Ministry of Magic? I got infiltrated multiple times. How is this still a problem for them? So Albus, Scorpius, and Delphi turn into Ron, Harry, and Hermione. They go to Hermione's office and try to find the Time Turner. I was just so happy for that scene where the bookcase attacked them. Books were coming alive and attacking them. That's just so Hermione right there. Of course she would weaponize her bookcases. They managed to defeat this weaponized bookcase and steal the Time Turner. They did it because Scorpius was very clever and he was able to solve the riddle of where the Time Turner is. Now they have the Time Turner. Now they're going to use it, go back in time to the Triwizard Tournament and save Cedric Diggory by making sure he doesn't win the first task. But not surprisingly, this has consequences. Cedric still died, but the consequences that happened were even more drastic than they thought. Albus is now a Gryffindor. Ron is now married to Padma, and Hermione is now the new Snape. Oh my god, how on earth did you mess things up so badly that Hermione became the new Snape? Harry, he is worried because his dreams keep on telling him that Al is in danger. He doesn't want him and Scorpius to be friends anymore because he thinks that's the danger. Harry, why? Why? You should know better than to forbid people from being friends with someone just because of who their family is. This little disagreement with their sons, of course, leads to Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy having a fight in Ginny's kitchen and messing it up. I just laughed out loud at that scene. Like, she just comes in, sees her kitchen destroyed, and he says, okay, what'd I miss? Now Scorpius, he and Al both want to fix this mess that they made. So they decide to use a Time Turner again. Go back and stop Cedric Diggory from winning the Triwizard Tournament. This time they were going to go to the second task. Now the way they travel to the second task, I am so confused because they went to Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. She told them the quickest way to the lake is through a pipe, and then there's description of Al climbing into the sink. Why would you climb into a sink unless the pipe was really, really huge? Was this a really huge sink? I know that there's supposed to be a large pipe that would lead to the Chamber of Secrets and it's supposed to be big enough to let a basilisk through, but how on earth is it that they found a sink large enough with a pipe attached to allow two 14-year-old boys to go through and find their way into the lake? Did I miss a part somewhere? Did they shrink themselves first? Anyway, they go to the past. Their plan was to humiliate Cedric Diggory and to also post up into the sky. Ron Weasley loves Hermione Granger, and I just thought that was a very, very cute addition. And again, unsurprisingly, this change in history just had very bad consequences for everybody. When Scorpius returns to the future, he returns alone. Albus is nowhere in sight. And then Umbridge appears. Umbridge! Oh yes, that bitch is back. And she's headmistress of Hogwarts. Did we not have enough of her in books 5 and 7? Why is this woman back? Why is she still alive? As it turns out, Scorpius is in an alternate reality where Voldemort is reigning supreme and Umbridge, that bitch, is headmistress, and he arrived on Voldemort Day. That's a Voldemort Day. I mean, as far as messing up the future goes, they went bad. I was pulling my hair out trying to figure out how on earth this happened, and when it was explained what happened to make this future so bad, I was in near tears. Cedric Diggory, the kind-hearted Hufflepuff boy whom we all loved and mourned in Book 4 and remembered fondly in Book 5, turned into a Death Eater. It turns out that the prank that Scorpius and Al played on him to stop him from winning the second task turned him into an angry, resentful person, and he became a Death Eater as a result. And he killed Neville Longbottom. That same kind-hearted Hufflepuff boy that was everyone's most tragic case, the very first death, he is now a Death Eater and he killed Neville Longbottom, and that's what screwed up the future. So because Neville died, Voldemort won. Muggleborns are being tortured. Harry Potter is dead. A lot of people are dead. Life is not that bad for Scorpius, but he's horrified about the changes made in the world. Despite the fact that he is both popular, well-liked, has many friends, has even a love interest in this reality, Scorpius hates it so much. And now he's trying to fix it. And guess who Scorpius runs into in this alternate reality? Snape. Severus Snape. Snape is back! He's alive! He is teamed up with Hermione and Ron, and they're basically all that's left of Dumbledore's army. They're going to use the time turner now, go back in time. They're going to make sure he kept his wand in the first task, and then when they return to their present, Hermione and Ron, their souls get sucked by Dementors. And I was in near tears when I read that part. Hermione, her soul was going to get sucked, and Ron, he could have left, but he decided to stay and die with her because all the feels. And then Snape dies. Again. His soul gets sucked. I just knew it was gonna happen. I knew it. I was still very much screaming at the book for it to not happen. I never really realized how much I missed Snape being alive and being his snarky self. I was laughing out loud at everything he said. I laughed when he asked Scorpius about how he died. And I'm dead, presumably. You were a little too surprised to see me. How? Bravely. Who? Voldemort. How irritating. Classic Snape. And then when Hermione offers her apologies, he goes, well, at least I'm not married to him. So Snape dies again. Oh my gosh, all the feels. I just thought it was so sweet when he gave Scorpius that message to tell Albus that he's proud that he's carrying his name. I was so overjoyed with that scene. So Scorpius goes back and fixes the second task by himself. When he comes back to the future, everything is back to normal. Albus exists, he's in Slytherin, Ron is married to Hermione, everything is right with the world, except that time turner is missing. Oh, that's just dandy. They found a time turner, they misused it, now they lost it. How is this not gonna go wrong? And of course, Harry Potter continues to dream. I don't know what to make of Harry Potter's dreams. I mean, they remind me of Percy Jackson. You know, the way he has prophetic dreams, and that never made much sense either. It makes less sense with Harry. I just want to know, is it because it's involving Voldemort, or is there something else? They never really explained that. All you know is that he has these dreams and it's telling him about Voldemort coming back. It turns out, Scorpius has the time turner, and he and Albus have now decided to destroy it. And of course, Delphi is told. And of course, Delphi betrays them. She uses the time turner to go back to the third task and try to make sure that Cedric Diggory loses. She wants to humiliate Cedric Diggory because she wants him to turn into a Death Eater. She wants that reality, that very, very dark reality. It's so confusing why, because it's easy to assume that she's a Death Eater. As it turns out, she is the daughter of Voldemort and Bellatrix Lestrange. I was surprised by Delphi turning out to be Voldemort's child, but that wasn't the first thought that entered my head when I heard that. The first thought that entered my head was, ew, Voldemort had sex with Bellatrix. Ew, Bellatrix had sex. Ew, Voldemort had sex. Ew, Bellatrix gave birth. Of course, Bellatrix would be the choice to be the mother of any child of Voldemort, but where in the timeline did she have the time to have sex, get pregnant, and give birth all in time to die at the Battle of Hogwarts? I'm basing this off the movies because she did not look pregnant in the movies. There wasn't that much description in the books, so I wouldn't know if she was wearing baggy clothing or not. That all also leads to the question, did anyone else know that she was pregnant with Voldemort's child? Why did not Narcissa say something about it? Why did not Draco Malfoy know about it? That was his aunt. And also, she was staying with him. I mean, a big pregnant belly, that'd be kind of hard to conceal unless she was wearing really, really baggy clothing. She had to have been pregnant during 6th year for that to be possible. Because Delphi said that she was born before the Battle of Hogwarts. Don't you think someone would have noticed? So, she's the child. Apparently those rumors about Voldemort having a kid were true. They were just talking about the wrong kid. Albus and Scorpius are fighting her, and they're saved by Cedric Diggory. He saves their lives, and there's a very, very sad moment where they just allow him to continue with the task. Even though they know it's going to kill him, they know better now than to mess with time. They need to let that happen. It's a very sad and tough choice, especially when their original purpose for the Time Turner was to save him. Delphi has one more trick up her sleeve. She uses the Time Turner again to travel even further back in the past, and then she destroys it, and then she disappears. So now Albus and Scorpius are stuck somewhere in time. They find out that it is October 30th, 1981. They assume that Delphi is going to kill Harry Potter herself in the present future. Harry and Hermione and the whole gang, they see that the Time Turner is missing. They know that the kids have been kidnapped, and they know that they're somewhere stuck in time. They just have no idea where. Draco, as it turns out, has a Time Turner. He got this Time Turner that will allow them to go back in time, but until they figure out where in time, they can't use it. And I just really like the scenes involving both Harry and Draco and Harry and Dumbledore's painting. With Dumbledore's painting, Harry was able to finally get some form of closure for everything that's happened in the past and about how Dumbledore handled certain things. And with Draco, you get the sense that Harry and Draco are now on the road to becoming good friends, because now Draco is part of the Scooby Gang. I'm pretty sure a great many of us secretly wanted them to become best friends because their dynamic together, it's just funny. So Albus and Scorpius are stuck in the past. They're trying to figure out what to do about it, but they have no wands. They know they can't go to Dumbledore. They can't go to James or Lily Potter. They need to come up with a plan. The plan they came up with, it was very interesting, but it was also at times very confusing because their plan involves having a message inserted literally onto this blanket that Harry has in the future. It's supposed to be this blanket that is the only thing he ever got from his parents. The plan is to leave a message on the blanket so that way Harry in the future sees the message and knows exactly where in time his son and his friend are. It's certain things like this where I really wish this was a full-length novel with descriptions and fleshed out characters, because I was wondering the whole time that this was happening, how on earth did they get close enough to Harry and that blanket to insert a message on it? Did they break into the house? I wouldn't have James and Lily have noticed. Harry was only a year old. Like, at what point is he alone long enough for them to do that? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Harry sees the message on the blanket in the future. He, Ron, Hermione, Ginny, and Draco, the gang, they use the Time Turner that Draco has to get to their kids and also to stop Delphi. And then they realize that Delphi isn't there to kill Harry Potter. He's there to stop Voldemort from trying to kill Harry Potter. So now their plan is to protect Voldemort. They concoct a plan. Harry is now impersonating Voldemort. It works. They're able to lure Delphi away and they're able to capture her. I feel so bad for Delphi. I can't imagine what kind of life she must have been living. I now want to know more about Delphi just so I can understand her place in the world. Now it's the time for Voldemort to come to Godric's Hollow and attack James and Lily and Harry. It was such an emotional scene to watch Harry stand back and literally let this happen. That could not have been the easiest decision, to just watch this man murder your parents and know that you can't fix it. My heart broke for him. because of that decision, because they stopped Delphi, everything is now right with the world. They are now back in their future. Ron and Hermione are married. They have 2 kids. Rose is back and Scorpius is so happy. When it came to Scorpius, I was kind of shipping him with either Rose or with Lily. I won't lie, it's because I keep on imagining the parents' reactions, and the reaction I see in my head when Ron and Draco find out is just hilarious. Harry and Albus are on their way to getting a better relationship from this. Harry and Albus have never really had the easiest of relationships. It showed, like, Albus was not easy to connect with. I got annoyed with him so much because of everything he's done. And then there's this whole scene where he and Harry have this argument. Harry says something. They have this argument before he goes to school, and what Harry said to him, it just made me gasp. I never pictured in my head ever Harry saying that ever to one of his children. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. I really did enjoy Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. There were just several things that I really wish were included more. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child brought back some of our much missed characters. We got to see Harry, got to see Hermione and Ron. I really regret that we didn't get to see that much of James or Lily. I know that Harry Potter and the Cursed Child was going to center around Albus, so I expected that. I still would have liked that if they had an even bigger role in the story than they did, because here they were just side characters. They were almost an afterthought, really. Ron and Ginny are the only Weasleys that we ever really got to see. We didn't get to see Molly or Arthur. We didn't get to see any of the other kids of the new generation. We didn't get to see Teddy. We did get to see Snape. We did get to see Dumbledore. McGonagall is back and she's headmistress, and I'm happy for that. We did not get to see Neville or Luna either, and I know because this is a play, you have a certain set of time. Some things have to be cut back. Still, a bit of a brief mention would be nice, right? There are questions for certain scenes that need answering. First off, how on earth did that time turner work? You go back in time, you have 5 minutes, and then it takes you back to the present. I thought that's the way it worked, but then at the end, Delphi uses it. She uses it to go back in time. I thought that the time turner would take them back to the present, but as it turns out, she uses it again, and it goes back in time, and I got really confused. How does that work? Next thing I want to know is how on earth Albus and Scorpius are able to fit into a pipe to get to the lake. Second task. The question is, how do they get a hold of Polyjuice Potion? It takes a month to make that stuff. Like, do they have it in stock? And how do they get that message on that blanket? Harry was a baby. I can imagine for one moment Lily and James leaving him alone long enough for Scorpius and Albus to get away with doing that. And fourth, what happened to the time turner? If they were smart, they will have destroyed that time turner because messing with time is never an option. Or put it in a vault deep underground in Gringotts. They just hide the key somewhere and not ever speak of it ever again. So those are all my thoughts on Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I would be very interested in hearing any of your thoughts and or comments about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child down in the comment section below. Please subscribe. Thank you all for watching. My name is Jessica. I am the Fandoms Queen, and if this is your first time ever watching my videos, let me say welcome to my kingdom of books and fandoms. Bye!